Chair lays out House Bill 2677 and recognizes Chairman Bonin to explain his bill.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. The state's Coordinated Law Enforcement Adult Rescue Alert, also known as a CLEAR Alert, which you may have seen over the last year or two, was created by the 86th legislature, and it's designed to close, and has in fact closed, a coverage gap between children who are covered under an Amber Alert and senior citizens covered under a Silver Alert. So we had a gap in our alert system so that, let's say, a young female was abducted, and there have been cases of this. There was not a formal process through which valuable information could be disseminated to help in their recovery or in identifying a perpetrator. So the Clear Alert assists law enforcement in locating and in missing, kidnapped, or abducted adults, or adults in immediate danger of injury or death. HB 2677 officially names the alert the Clear Alert. So this name was adopted by DPS. It was not in statute. And so what this legislation simply does is put it into statute. And it is also honoring the victims of violence that brought this bill to our attention, and that is Kaylee Mundady, Delisa Kelly, Aaron Castro, Ashanti Billy, and all the rest. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and I'd like to reserve the right to close.
Members, any questions for Chairman Bonin? Okay, thank you. Your right is reserved. The chair calls Allison Steele. Thank you so much for visiting with us today, and we want to thank you before you get to the mic, announcing your name, who you're representing, and your position on the bill.
Good morning. My name is Allison Steele. I'm representing myself as well as the nonprofit organization Kaylee's Calling. I'm testifying in support of this bill, and my murdered daughter Kaylee is symbolically represented by the letter C in the Clear Alert acronym. Most namesake laws are single victim laws, but the Clear Alert is different. It represents the next step in inclusivity by honoring multiple victims. Those of us who work in this space are using the stories of those victims to teach Texans valuable lessons about public safety in the related contexts. Our stories are about missing persons, violence, and murder. Those stories are so much stronger when they're all put together than they would be if they stood in isolation, which is what might have happened if this had been a single victim namesake law. We're very proud of the Clear Alert name. We're proud that our namesake victims represent the full diversity of Texas and the full geography of Texas. When Texas passed the Clear legislation in 2019, it wasn't just creating a new type of emergency broadcast alert. It was raising the bar and setting a new precedent for namesake laws generally. That in itself is extremely important. That is why this name is so special. That is why it needs to be codified. And that is why we are here asking you to consider our bill. And thank you for hearing us today.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for the witness? Thank you so much for coming to your Capitol. Chair recognizes Gilly Puente.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and the members of the committee. My name is Gilly Puente. I am a crime victims advocate for the Office of Christian D. Menifee, Harris County Attorney in Houston. I am also the sister of Susana de Jesus, who was tragically murdered on February the 2nd, 2009 in Pearland. At the end of her workday at a women's clothing boutique, Susie was carjacked, kidnapped by a stranger in a ski mask in the middle of a busy shopping strip parking lot. Her co-worker was left behind in shock as she saw Susie taken away at gunpoint into a congested street and the accomplice following right behind them. Susie's killer tied her up and put her in the trunk, drove to an ATM and to a trailer across the street from a popular car dealership, no longer useful to them, Susie's life was taken execution style. While hanging out in the stolen car, the murderer proposed to his girlfriend with Susie's wedding ring that he took from her lifeless body. After the marriage proposal rejection, the killer continued his 2-county-wide joyride to pick up fast food from a very slow drive-through, headed to another girlfriend's house, and to attempt to destroy his biggest threat, the OnStar tracking system. Her car was recovered. Unfortunately, not Susie. A little over a month later, the killer was caught after running away from an attempted carjacking and kidnapping. I strongly believe that if this alert would have been available at that time, Susie would not have been left alone to decompose in an empty, cold trailer for 5 weeks. Or the best outcome of all, Susie would be alive. I, along with County Attorney Menifee, support the clear alert and the use of the name to honor the memory of all murder victims. Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Any questions for the witness? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Rena Castro.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming to your Capitol, your name and who you're representing and your position on the bill.
Okay. My name is Rena Castro, and I'm representing myself as well as the Aaron Rios Castro Foundation. I am testifying in support of this bill, and my murdered daughter, Erin, is symbolically represented by the E in the Clear Alert name. In 2018, my beautiful 19-year-old daughter, Erin, was in a car with her boyfriend when he became violent. I was on the phone with her, pleading with her to get out of the car, but she didn't know where she was. And the last time I heard my daughter's voice, she was screaming when she had been beaten and run over several times with the car she had been riding in. Her boyfriend has been charged with her murder. I feel that if the Clear Alert had existed at the time of Erin's death, it might have served as a deterrent because that man would have realized the police had the ability to respond very quickly. The police could also have put his car license plate up on the highway signs for everyone to see and maybe find him in time to prevent his acts of violence. Issuing an emergency broadcast alert might have also helped the police to locate Erin's body more quickly, even if it could not have saved her life. We are honored to have Erin memorialized in the Clear Alert name. It gives the Aaron Castro Foundation one more tool for educating the public on devastating outcomes of teen dating violence. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Any questions for the witness? Thank you so much for visiting your state capitol. Okay. Is there anyone else that wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 2677? Chair recognizes Dr. Bonin to close on HB 2677.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. And in closing on this, I want to thank the families for giving voice, for their loved ones on this issue. I want to thank you guys not only for hearing this, but those of you who did the great work, last session of putting this alert out there. And, really through the creation and now the naming of this alert, those who have lost their lives, their voice is heard going forward. And it gives, I think, meaning and purpose to what has been otherwise just senseless tragedy and loss. And it can hopefully, in fact, not only hopefully will, it will in fact save the lives of other young people and others as we go forward. So with that, I thank you for your time. I ask for your support, and I close.
Members, any questions for Chairman Bonin? Thank you very much. And the chair moves that House Bill 2677 without amendment be reported favorably to the full House with recommendation that it do pass and be printed. Clerk will call the roll.
Chairman White?
Aye.
Vice Chair Bowers? Aye. Goodwin? Aye. Harless? Aye. Hefner?
Aye.
Morales? Aye. Patterson?
Aye.
Schaefer?
Aye.
Tinderholt?
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 nays.
There being 9 ayes, 0 nays, the motion prevails.